contact request, or I don't know if you have to do it anymore with Skype nowadays, but I don't know. Anyways, uh, hey, come on, they change it all the time.
Yeah, you are right on that one.
So now create an internal and external threat. Okay, so let's focus on the first one, internal. Now we have Black Lives Matter. Now, honestly, do Black Lives matter? Well, yeah, of course. Yeah, Black Lives matter.
Yeah.
So do white lives, so do Latino lives, so do Asian lives, so do Native American lives. All lives matter. Not just black lives. I mean, now granted, I understand that, black people out there, and if someone gets offended by me saying black people, well then contact Black Lives Matter because they're the one that's pushing us here. Yeah, the whole thing, I can understand why they may be a little upset, because they're black and, of the history here in this country and this and that. And we even saw this with the Oscars where there were a few black celebrities that boycotted the Oscars, which, okay, great, wonderful. I didn't have to hear your speech. So in that respect, I'm going to boycott the BET Awards because there's not one white person nominated for any of those awards.
Isn't that funny?
It's ironic.
But that's okay.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. I mean, heck, if it's black, yeah, it's okay. We're gonna have our own Black Entertainment Awards. Yeah, we're going to have our own Black Entertainment TV network. We're going to have a Black History Month. But heaven forbid we have a White History Month. No, then we're going to be talking about the KKK, right? Gee, I mean, come on. We are Americans. Plain and simple. No hyphenation, no nothing. I'm American. You're an American. Jason, you're an American. If you're black, you're an American. As long, and this all is if you're born here, by the way, or naturalized. You're all American. If you're black, you're Asian, you're gay, you're transsexual, you're male, female, whatever. You're all Americans. So let's stop this African American, Asian American, Latino American. Me, I'm Caucasian. And honestly, I really don't know what skin color Caucasian is other than white, but I don't even think Caucasian is actually a color, but, but here's the thing is, yeah, I'm a white American. My ancestors came over from Norway, from Oslo, Norway. Okay? They came over here during, the mid part of the 1800s. Okay, and as soon as my male relatives got off the boat, they enlisted in the Union Army. One of them actually fought under General Sherman during the Atlanta campaign. Now, I know a lot of you Southerners down there, you're probably, oh, General Sherman, that son of a bitch. And if you know anything about history, you know what the Atlanta campaign did. Basically, they torched towns as they went down to Atlanta. Torched the cotton, torched towns, houses, this and that, pillaging. Yeah, not exactly our finest hour.
Right.
But, the thing is the Civil War, and the only reason I bring the Civil War up is because it still seems like we're fighting it still today. The Civil War was already fought by our great-grandparents. Okay, yeah, the Union won. Now, do I have the utmost respect for the South and the Confederacy? Well, absolutely, yes, I do. Because I look at the Confederacy and I see the American colonial revolutionaries. Now, let's just throw slavery out the window here, because honestly, America is not the only country that had slavery in the world. Hell, even Africa, where supposedly African Americans are from, still has slavery.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you think America got its slaves? It is because African tribes went out and captured them and gave them to the white man. And yet here I am being white, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for my white privilege. Okay, what privilege? Honestly, I live in government subsidized housing. I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. What privilege have I actually had? Go ahead, Jason.
No, I I didn't want to interrupt you on that one because it's true. I'm in the same boat, you know. I would like to know what white privilege I have. I mean, I really would. I mean, I'm part Native American and part Caucasian, but still.
So you have been fighting illegal immigration since 1492.
There you go.
and see, and that's the thing. You know, a lot of people out there will say, well, the white man came to America and drove the Native Americans off their land and this and that, and we should give the land back to the Native Americans. Okay, which tribe? Because I'm up here in Minnesota, which was predominantly Sioux and Dakota Indian. Now, the Sioux and Dakotas, they were at war with each other and fought, many, many, many moons. And there are other tribes that they wiped out. So, okay, so do we give it back to the Sioux or do we give it back to the tribes that they wiped out? So who gets the land? I mean, when people say, white man came and you took the land from Native Americans, okay, we should give it back. Okay, all right, okay. We can give it back, but who do we give it back to? There were so many tribes in this country before, and I'm not going to say Columbus discovered America, because honestly, he thought he reached India. That's why they're called Indians. But even before that, Leif Erikson from Norway, Greenland, came over in the 12th century and to what is now Newfoundland and into Canada, and discovered America too. But we don't give him any credit. I mean, the whole thing is one. I mean, at the very least, it's academic. At the very least, it's academic. Okay. And, I mean, you can complain and this and that. And honestly, I challenge anyone that is listening to this broadcast, whether it's live or on demand here on KTNTradio.com, that if you were actually a slave, then by all means, give me a call, send me a message, whatever, because I would really love to hear your story. If you were actually a slave in this day and age. Because honestly, slavery was abolished with the 13th and 14th Amendment in 1868. And honestly, if you want to go even further back, we can. We can go back to 1760. Let's see, wait a minute, hang on, I got my notes here. I don't want to mispronounce or miss the year here. I think it's 1787, when the Constitution of the United States was ratified. It literally stated that the territories. Now, remind you, at the time of the Constitution ratification, there were only 13 states, which were all on the eastern seaboard. Anything west of that, which they had no idea anything past the Ohio River Valley, or anything beyond, all black men, all Native Americans, everything were free. There were no slaves out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot. Forgot that portion of your history, didn't you? Not you, Jason. I'm talking about the listeners out there. Okay, so now let's go to the external threat. Okay? Now, what kind of external threats do we have in the United States today? Jason?
The external threats?
External. Outside the country.
I would say the invasion that we're seeing right now of the CIA creation, ISIS coming in, and also just the open borders for the MS-13 and companies that are coming up through the southern border. That's one of them. And the other external threat that I know of and speak of all the time is the outside forces. The how do I want to put this? Like the UN with their Agenda 21 and the land grabbing that they're doing here in the U.S. right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a huge one.
Well, don't forget Russia.
Oh, well, that's very true.
Or China.
Yeah, China's a huge one.
North Korea. Iran. Iraq.
Very true.
Afghanistan. I mean, we can name all the Middle Eastern countries that we want. I mean, hell, we can even say Saudi Arabia. And I know a lot of people they might be scratching their head. Like, wait, what are you talking about? Saudi Arabia is our ally. No, they are not.
They're not. They're actually, Nick, I seen an article today.
Mm-hmm. Did we lose Jason there? Are you there, Jason?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. There you go.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry about that. Yeah.
Not a problem. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I seen an article today, speaking of Saudi Arabia, that they are actually buying up land right now over in the western United States, out in California. They're buying up huge acreage of farmland that's been abandoned.
Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the other thing, too, is what a lot of people don't realize is when it comes to Saudi Arabia is that the majority of the hijackers / terrorists that attacked us on September 11th, 2001, the majority of them came from Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. Not Iraq, not Afghanistan, and it's questionable whether Osama bin Laden was actually involved in it. Now, if you read, now I'm sure the mainstream media will call this a conspiracy theory. I call this a fact that before the World Trade Center attacks and the Pentagon attack in 2001, there was a war game where Osama bin Laden, who was one of the princes of Saudi Arabia, the black sheep of the family, if you will, was named as the head of the terrorist organization. Now, this is before the attacks. Okay, this is before the attacks. They ran a simulation and did a war game, and they put Osama bin Laden as the head terrorist of this attack.
Yep.
Coincidence?
No.
And why is it that we Americans did not see Osama bin Laden's dead body? I mean, come on. We saw Saddam Hussein's dead body hanging from a rope. So why couldn't we see Osama bin Laden's? What, because it was too graphic? Hey, you know what, Obama? It's okay. We got black ops. Okay, we've seen gory stuff before. It's okay. Just show us the picture. We want to make sure the fucker's dead. Simple. And it's as simple as that. But did we get to see it? No, he got a burial at sea. Well, wait a minute. Why did he get a burial at sea? Why was he not carted on a Big Mac truck, open trailer truck, tied up and bound and gone on tour through the entire United